So by far, on reveal is Snap's largest archetype without question. And we're not just talking about in quantity of cards, but the largest power potential, big combos, and huge accessibility across all pools. So in today's in-depth guide, we've got the on reveal archetype. I'm going to teach you everything that you could possibly want or need to know. We're talking the best cards, the most broken combos. We have essential upgrades for you as you progress through Snap, and plenty of meta decks to sink your teeth into. So let's waste no time and jump right into it. Why should you play on reveal decks in Marvel Snap? For starters, you're going to have access to 80% of the cards you need from Pool 1 and 2, and you only need a few more cards to make it work in Pool 3. Number 2, you get access to some of the most satisfying broken combos in Marvel Snap. And last, you've got an archetype that's always going to be around in the meta. New on-reveal cards will always be here. It's probably one of the easiest for the devs to make, but it also just does phenomenal against other archetypes in this game. You can straight up outpower, discard, and move decks. And then when you look at control decks and shutting down lanes, you can just Dr. Doom or White Tiger to reach those locations. It's a pretty consistent deck as you climb up the ladder, and definitely one that you've played a ton even from Pool 1 and have had consistent access to the way that it works. If I'm being totally honest, on reveal is actually pretty simple to play at a high level. Very straightforward if you want to do a meta on reveal deck. Essentially, all you need is a good understanding of the card abilities. You need to know how to pull off your biggest combos that the deck you are using can do. And then, of course, like what counters you. You combine that with one or two of the better options for the meta cards out of the 10 plus options that there are, and know your playstyle and you're good to go. And again, that's one of the best parts of on reveal. You don't have to hope and pray something comes from the token shop because there's so many things that truly work and combos you can pull off. There are definitely ones that shine better than others, and we're going to talk about that today. But you get a large access to a pool of on reveal cards. Let's talk the MVPs, the kings of the on-reveal archetype that are going to both dictate the game and unlock the max potential of your on-reveal cards. Odin is going to be the main straw that stirs the on-reveal drink. He's the finale of the ability show you'll be conducting. He's a great card, through and through. 8 power is nothing to laugh at. He can't be countered by Shang-Chi. His ability is crazy. We'll be talking about the King of Asgard plenty today. Let's go ahead and talk about the other additions. Now, you don't have to have these cards, but of course, when you do get them, they're definitely going to help climb to the max meta potential that on reveal offers. We start with the Combo King, who in my opinion is a little bit overkill. Now, he is easy to counter, but if your opponent isn't running 1 to 2 cards, they're screwed. Like, the abilities on reveal cards are already crazy, but you add that with Wong and it gets even stupider. He's going to be a cheap win card for you and one that you can rely on. You definitely don't have to use him. I don't put him in all of my on reveal decks. But he's a straightforward method. If you come from Pool 1 or 2, plug him in, and he just does everything better. Now, the newest addition to On Reveal is Absorbing Man. He's the last guy I would want to run into in prison, but he's the perfect complement to On Reveal decks. And I find him a bit more consistent than Wong because he's way more unpredictable. He's not going to give you that overkill factor, but you can use him to abuse some of the stronger combos and abilities we'll talk about today. And you'll begin to see why I rank him near the top of my token shop unlocks. Now, Lockjaw's going to get his own in-depth guide, so we're not going to go through him a ton. He deserves his own video and archetype, but essentially he's going to allow on-reveal cards to be activated multiple times throughout the battle, and you can already figure out why that's pretty crazy. So before we get to the top-tier ability cards that you really need to understand, let's talk about the playstyles. On-reveal is going to have multiple to choose from, and you want to find one that works best for you. We've got the YOLO Casino. This is going to be far less dependable and consistent, but when you win, it's going to be obvious. You've got the Lockjaw Jubilee decks. We've got the Ramper, which you guys know we've got a full video breaking down this archetype. You can check up above and get a full breakdown on what I think is one of the better kind of decks in the game. That's going to be utilizing both Wave and Electro. We have the big combo decks, which is obviously Wong, Absorbing Man, and then the more top-tier meta options, cards like Arnim Zola, Black Panther. We'll get through those as well. Lastly, the controller. We're going to use cards like Storm, Magneto, and Arrow and have a bit of a on-reveal hybrid deck that works wonders. All right, so listen, probably the biggest thing to understand with on-reveal are the abilities that you want to abuse and use. Now, I've split them into 3 different groups as obviously not every ability is the same and some are much stronger than others. We've got a lot of abilities that are way better to abuse with Odin, Wong, and Absorbing Man. And then also, you're not going to see cards like Hela, Ultron, these other archetype on reveal cards. You can make them work in these decks, but this is more about the core on reveal faction or archetype. Let's go ahead and start at the top with the absolute busted on reveal abilities. These are going to be probably the best on reveals in the game as far as what they do and how you can abuse the cards. Shuri and Leader are kind of in a league of their own. Definitely very strong cards, even if they get nerfs. Both are top tier options. Dr. Doom being a 6/15 value will never be a bad card to play. Magneto, Arrow, Valkyrie, all incredible control options. I told you there's loads of options on this list, but let's talk about the ones I would probably unlock first from the token shop. If you have Arnim Zola, definitely go for Black Panther to unlock one of the best combos in the game. Leader, even if he does get a nerf, or Dr. Doom, great options to throw into on-reveal decks. Controlling Magneto, Arrow, awesome plug-and-play ability. And then, of course, we have our ramp options if you want to lean that direction. Now, this next list of cards all have incredible on-reveal abilities. Don't sleep on the low-cost options like Scorpion, Iceman, or Korg. Definitely cards that you guys are very familiar with at this point, like Jessica Jones and Storm. Just great on-reveal abilities that you can abuse with combos, but they still all work great. Now, Gamora and Spider-Woman, I would say, are the strongest of this bunch that if you don't have the ones we talked about earlier, I would plug those into your decks until you unlock the Dr. Dooms of Pool 3. Doc Ock is a great tech option to utilize as well as Spider-Man. And then we move on to the last list, which is the Rock Slide, Polaris, Morph, and some of our other options that you guys can see here. Jane Foster, most notably, isn't in the top of the list just because it's more of a niche use of a card, but still very solid with Mr. Negative and obviously Thor. So with the essential abilities out of the way, let's continue on with card combos. And this is probably the biggest thing I see people mistake in Marvel Snap with combos is they get tunnel vision on trying to do one big combo that they, dedicated their entire deck to pull off. Guys, sometimes it's great to have multiple win conditions because often, especially with on reveal, you're going to get countered and you have to figure out how to still win the match even if they win against your plan A. They've got to have plan B and even plan C to make sure you get more consistent wins. Let's start with the Wong combos, and we've got some really solid ones that are the kind of base of a lot of the decks out there. Now, again, these can easily be countered, and you do have to dedicate a good amount of time and resources to playing these out and get just perfect card draw some of the time. But these are great ones to get started with if you want the big kind of overkill ones out there. Even simple ones like White Tiger followed by Odin or Dr. Doom as well in a ramp deck followed by Odin is crazy powerful. Now, all these combos are great, but for whatever reason, people always try to win against the Arnim Zola combo with Black Panther and Wong, and I don't know why. Without question, this is the one-way ticket to just more of a meta option for on-reveal decks. A consistent winner and definitely one that if you have the cards, you need to plug in because it's busted. Now, obviously, by now, the secret is out on Wong. He's very easy to counter, which is why I think Absorbing Man is definitely worth the tokens for on-reveal fans. The guy's insane because even just triggering one of these abilities again is completely busted. Take Arrow, for example. She's great on turn 5, but being able to control cards twice on turns 5 and 6 is one of the most slept on just combos in Marvel Snap. But looking at this graphic here, playing him in ramp decks, you can play Leader multiple times, Odin to reactivate, or even Arnim Zola. You can play him on Wave, Jubilee, or Electro for those extra benefits if you don't have other options. And then Silver Surfer loves the guy because you can use him to get more hatchlings for Brood, or get the double Silver Surfer activation on your 3-cost cards. White Tiger and Dr. Doom are fantastic to go ahead and copy up those abilities. Some clutch abilities as well on tier 2. We've got Gambit, Shang-Chi. Following up those cards are awesome with Absorbing Man. You have Thor for the double hammers and just kind of giving you a better chance to scale that amazing card. And then Black Widow or Hazmat for maximum toxicity. He's an absolute fantastic card, and I expect to see him explode even more over the coming months. Now let's go ahead and talk counters to On Reveal. Lucky for you, if you do play On Reveal decks, you get free membership and lifetime access to the IHC Association. This SOB is going to be the bane of your existence, and everybody in the I Hate Cosmo Association feels your pain. Cosmo is obviously the biggest counter to these decks, But luckily, most of the time, he's played somewhat early. This is why you have to have multiple different win conditions with on reveal, as he can shut down the majority of what you're trying to do. And most of the time, if it ruins one of your big combos, it's best to retreat. Cards like Arrow and Enchantress can also mess up the combos you're trying to pull off. Believe me, nothing feels worse than trying to do your Arnim Zola Black Panther combo, and then this girl over here drags you to a location, and all of a sudden you find yourself copying a Savage Land Raptor. It sucks and you're going to lose. And so you want to try to identify what deck your opponent is playing. But again, outside of her, Enchantress, Cosmo, those are the main large counters to on reveal decks. So there's the core essentials for on reveal. Let's get to the decks. Again, guys, with this archetype, really, you just want to focus on the shells of the decks. There's the main cards you want to run, the ones we covered, the main kind of kings and MVPs. And then you want to plug and play what you have. But I want to give you guys some of the decks and shells that I use that have been extremely successful. Now, we're going to start out with a kind of a different deck. It's not all on reveal. It's going to mix the hybrid of two archetypes. Both control and on reveal create a powerful combination that I recommend you guys try out. You can start out with this deck. This is a very light on pool 3 deck, guys. Not a lot going on here, and you definitely should have access to the majority of these cards. Even if you don't have Wong or Dr. Doom, you can make it work with the other options at hand. The main core basics are here with this deck, and it'll teach you how to play control with on reveal at the same time. Now, obviously, as you can see, we've got Storm to close down lanes, and then we can always do White Tiger or Dr. Doom to access those lanes. Now, when you get better cards, I like something more like this, and that's going to combine Daredevil and Gamora to really win 1 power on the main lane, and then your shutdown lane you can access with Dr. Doom or White Tiger. This deck has great curve, good power, pretty damn solid combos with control. And then we have America Chavez to go ahead and help our card draw for more dependable and consistent wins. Again, nothing sexy here, but it is very consistent. Now, down below, you guys can see all the replacement options to kind of make the deck a bit more crazy if you do have these cards. Obviously, Leader, Arrow, the better cards out there are going to be very strong, or you can go with more of a Silver Surfer approach. Next up, we have the Unbeatable Panther, and this is obviously all about the huge Black Panther play, and we used to call it the Wong Storm, but still kind of the similar deck that you guys are used to seeing at top meta on reveal play, and really the only way to shut it down is a turn 5 Arrow or Cosmo to just completely throw it off. We have a few low-cost options, and then we have Psylocke to go ahead and try to play either Jubilee or Wong pretty early on. And even if you don't pull them, there's several ways to win. We have Arnim Zola and Dr. Doom, Absorbing Man to follow up with Wave or Jubilee or even Storm. A lot of win conditions and tons of replacements in this deck. You can even throw in Thanos for some other craziness, and then down below is all the other cards that I would throw in to synergize with either Black Panther or the on-reveal effects. Now, again, I do have a full video on ramp decks, but I want to show the power of Absorbing Man. He wasn't out when I made that guide, so we're going to play with some today. Now, the ramp deck I recommended in that video is going to be the one that you see here. Again, for a full explanation on how to play the deck, you can visit that video. But the deck that I've been playing lately is something that's pretty greedy and aggressive. We have a deck here that no matter what Absorbing Man copies, you're going to get extreme value. Now, obviously, Electro is just a great card to get out there because we can go ahead and play something like Leader, then Absorbing Man that Leader, then Odin that Absorbing Man and Leader. It gets out of control. And then, obviously, you can apply that to anything here like Dr. Doom or Black Panther. And at the same time, if you're winning a lane early, you can go ahead and play Arrow down, then play either Absorbing Man or Odin and continue to pull their cards to one lane. And this one is just chock full of win conditions. It's extremely hard to beat, even with Cosmo shutting you down early. Now, easily out of all the decks we talk about today, this is definitely my favorite one, and the one I'm currently using pretty much all of the time. It definitely relies on Shuri being an unlocked card for top tier options, and we're going to abuse the ridiculous on-reveal ability she has. We've got the perfect openers in Iceman and Scorpion, insane value with Lizard and Maximus, and scaling cards in Thor. And then Shuri doubling up either Vision or Arrow is just absolutely busted. Vision can just move to any location to seal the deal. Leader can copy whatever your opponent does, obviously, or Taskmaster. You can always roll with an Arnim Zola as well if you're able to pull off double of these Visions. And of course, White Queen for that sweet intel on what the opponent is going to play. Now, I love this deck so much that I've got a full video dedicated for it, so keep your eyes peeled for that. Transitioning over to the Silver Surfer, we've got plenty of decks out there. You can check out my full in-depth guide, but Revealing Surfer is a great one for pretty early access. It's all about a huge finish by playing multiple 3-cost cards, followed by the Silver Surfer. You can throw an Absorbing Man in there for good measure to follow up the Surfer. It's a deck full of ridiculous power and definitely one I recommend. So there are my on-reveal decks. Let's jump into battle. I think it's pretty important to know when to play what and how to set up these combos most effectively. All right, so right here, we've got a very dependable variety control and reveal deck that we covered in the video. And this is a deck with a lot of flexibility and at the same time, great combos and just a safe, consistent deck to climb the ladder with. We've got the best opening we could have with both Iceman and Daredevil. Of course, you can also play Sunspot if you so choose, but this is a bit more of a leaning into the synergy of on-reveal side. So we have Daredevil and Gamora kind of set up for our success already, which is a big reason why I love Gamora. Pair it up with Daredevil. Again, you can plug Daredevil into just about any deck. We have 3 different 3-cost options. Unfortunately, didn't pull any of them, so we'll have to skip this turn. And we are playing a Giant Whale as we've got the new Mr. Fantastic card, which I haven't seen this animated, so it was kind of cool to see this. But it's turn 4, and this is definitely something that we need to think about. We could kind of just ignore this and play Storm in the middle and really force this guy's hand. We've got ways to reach these closed down locations, and I don't think he does with ongoing decks. For the sake of the video, we're going to go ahead and play Wong. We're going to let him have the right side if he so chooses. He does not, and instead elects for a Mystique. Mr. Fantastic, very interesting play. And now it's going to be very difficult for this guy to win. We know exactly where he's going with his play. We're going to Gamora that location. And we have White Tigers to reach the closed down location. So obviously with control, always a little better if you've got a location that's going to help you out. But right here, this guy's in a tough spot. He's in a tough spot. He wasted a couple turns. And he's no doubt hoping that his 2 power points over there is going to win him that location. This is one that I would recommend trying to build early on if you're kind of newer in pool 3. Not a lot of cards you need. Absorbing Man, you definitely don't need in the deck to make work all the time. Now, this guy's giving us a choice where we want to go. We have Omega Red and Vibranium. He's definitely hoping to capitalize on the ongoing ability that he has. So it wouldn't matter either way. I think I'm going to go with Gamora here because we don't even need the left side. It won't matter, but at the same time, he's going to definitely play another card there next turn, which we can then go and hit him with a Absorbing Man Gamora if we so choose. We have American Chavez to put the rest of the cards down. We didn't get the cards you can see here. Odin, Dr. Doom, Wolfsbane, and Ironheart. All of those obviously would be busted as well. So we're definitely going to go with White Tiger. This will put some pressure both on him not being able to hit his Omega Red combo, and we can get to this other lane. We're going to get 2 Tigers out there. But just to be sure, we're going to throw this on the left side. Just to go and put more pressure on him not getting that ongoing ability. I don't snap in videos. Feeling pretty confident on this one. It's going to be tough for him to come back here. And let's see what Minimal decides to do here. I'm expecting like an Onslaught potentially. All right, so he's going to go Iron Man, which means he actually will get that bonus, I think, potentially. Because we'll have 8, 15. Yeah, we're going to be 1 short there, but we still win on the double right side. So there you go. There you go. The Iron Man play made it a bit more tricky. I'll give him that. But we got the dubs, which was great. If he would have played Onslaught there, that would have been what? +7? Yeah, we could have closed on that with the White Tiger. But still a great way to go. And we'll play another one with this deck to show you guys. But again, there's just a lot of control and on reveal. And if they don't have a Cosmo, like they're pretty much screwed. All right, so one more time around, we've got the awesome deck that is the Variety Reveal and Control. Again, one of my more favorite decks as far as just a staple on reveal deck. Very easy to learn what to do and how to do it. We're going to play Iceman, even though we don't want to play him all the time on Baxter Building. Let's just get him out there on a location we know is safe. And our middle location, we got the +5, baby. +5. So we'll throw Daredevil on that, no question about it. And start to set up our late game here. Sunny's going to be struggling as he's already massively behind, and we have cards that are definitely going to be in our favor. I don't love playing Ironheart on turn 3 because we don't get the max capitalization of her, but with getting +5 power on top, never a bad idea. He's already so behind, so he can go for the raft if he so chooses. So we're on to the next turn. Now we can set up our Wong combo. We can Absorbing Man our Ironheart, which is, you know, not a bad play, especially in the middle here to get kind of more overall power. And then we can even Odin into that. So we have some other options there. The other thing we could do is just go Wong here. We already know we have White Tiger, so fill up the locations with Tigers. With Baxter Building and the +5 location, both of these are great options. And I don't see him playing Cosmo on the right side here because he just has a lot of power to make up. Unless this pulls a Cosmo, of course. Ooh, what a pull, baby. What a pull. All right, so he's got Sarah. But we can see what he's doing on 5, and this will definitely help us decide what we want to do as well. So if I were to take a guess, he's going to go, yeah, hard on Baxter Building. He's already filling up his right lane, and he's going to morph us. So with the knowledge of him morphing us, if he takes Odin, doesn't do anything. If he takes Absorbing Man, nothing. Wolfsbane is a decent morph pull. And then he's going Ironheart and Angela. We're going to go ahead and just play White Tiger here. Let's see what he copies. Again, it doesn't really matter. We don't need to win the raft, so I don't really care about winning that. Of course, him getting a free 6-cost option with Sarah is going to mean just an absolute filled board the next round. But we got the advantage of him pulling Absorbing Man instead. All right, so we can definitely fill out our lanes, right? We're going to have 14 extra power in the middle. We're going to have a filled out Tiger on the left. So all of that is great, but he is going to have a massive play here. So we'll keep up this battle no matter what happens, but this is a good way to show it. The Jubilee Sarah pull was huge for him, but I don't think that he'll be able to match just what we have on the board already. I mean, both the locations outside the raft are locations you just want loads of cards on. And to fill these up with the easy, cheeky White Tiger combo. Like, guys, if you get Wong early, just do the White Tiger Wong. It's such an easy battle condition win. And it's just hard to match the power at the end. So he's only going 2 cards. One's a 6-cost, and one's whatever the hell else he's playing here. So did he get a free Odin, or is that the free card? All right, fantastic. Okay, well, there you go, guys. So first bit, we had a different game the first round, and then on this round, we obviously had a bit of a different run about how we won. And if you look, we didn't pull Storm, Gamora, or Dr. Doom. Didn't get Dr. Doom again, but the same kind of premise. We could Dr. Doom Wong and get a couple Doom bots out. All right, let's capitalize on some top-tier cards with just broken on-reveal abilities. We've got nothing our first turn here, and really with this deck, doesn't matter all too much. We're just looking for a one of the ramp options, and then we will be abusing some of our strong combos early on. Now, we already have some of the cards that we need to set up some broken things. Every card in this deck is going to pretty much set up some sort of a broken on-reveal combo, which is the best part about it. And we have Dark Dimension to kind of hide anything that we might want to be cheeky about as well. We have Electro and Wave. Let's look at the options here of what we'd like to do. If we go Wave here, we can Leader and start capitalizing on that, which I think is going to be our option, because we also have Shuri. So we have plenty of different ways to kind of maneuver around. We're going to leave our left lane as our Arnim Zola lane right now. So we want to make sure that we don't play anything into that. You know, typically with this deck and all on-reveal decks, I leave one lane dedicated to my combos. We got Dr. Doom as another option we could play. We could kind of build into him with Odin and some other cards. But we're going to go with Leader. We're giving him a wave. We're giving him a free pass to do whatever he wants. But more importantly, we're going to start establishing ourselves early on to be able to do some crazy things in the late game. We got Sarah, one of the best options by far to copy with Leader. And at this point, we're looking good. So he's probably doing a Silver Surfer kind of Sarah deck. Which means we can't just Leader out from here on out. Like, you could go, you know, Arnim Zola, double Leader, copy everything twice. Like, things get nutso with this ramp deck and the combo possibilities. I like the idea of Dr. Doom left side, and then Odin for our final play of the game. If it's not that, we Arnim Zola leader now, but I think we want to wait for the last play of the game to do that. Do we do the content play or the safe play? We'll go Doom here. We'll go Doom here. I want to do the content play, but we'll go with Doom. All right, we're fine with not leadering either of those. He played out of order, so this guy's just, I don't know. We have a few things we can do here. This is the most obvious play to get high power here, high power in the middle, copy whatever he might do, and then get some extra power out here. So this is probably what we'll roll with. We don't have any space on the right side either way. We have some leftover energy. This is kind of why I like the deck. Like, it gets so out of control that it's just fun to play. Like, it's definitely... I would say it's not as risky as like a Jubilee Lockjaw deck, but it definitely has some crazy kind of wild combinations. We copied everything he has in the middle there. He's going to get, what, 12 additional or 9 additional? He'll tie us there, but we obviously won on the left side. So it was closer than I would have liked it. We ran out of board space quickly, and this is definitely a deck that requires loads of board space to kind of get these OP combos off with Dr. Doom, Leader Space, and then Arnim Zola. Let's play some Unbeatable Panther, and my gosh, could we not have a better opening hand? We got Shuri's Lab, we have Psylocke, looking great for us to start this out. Obviously, we're just looking for the busted combo, as this is a very simple deck to play. If they do not have Cosmo, they're just in for a rough go about it, guys. We're going to play Psylocke on this turn, which is going to allow us to play Wong. Now, the bad part about this is we're playing Wong pretty early, so he could definitely Cosmo this, which I guess would be good. We could show you what to do when kind of worst comes to worst here. But nope, we're going up against most likely a Hela deck. Which, funny enough, Hela's not a great location for Shuri's Lab. Because all that comeback power is not as good as you would think. That is a crazy lucky pull. Holy crap, man. Tim, I don't know what you're doing, but X-Mansion loves you. Let's look at our next turnaround here. And we don't have a lot of options. We want to leave the left side open. We don't need to play Absorbing Man. We can always play Agent 13. Get a little bit of something going. Maybe we get a decent card pull. He got rid of Hela, which is probably a retreat on his end. Let's see if he sticks around. He does. We still don't have Black Panther, which means we're not going to be able to do our Wombo combo. Bit of a bummer. But we can still utilize this combo for plenty of other things. So we're going to throw Spider-Woman out there and get a double negative hit on him, plus the 14 power from Shuri's Lab. And then we could also go ahead and use Arnim Zola to send this to the other two locations, which is just fantastic. It's going to throw out Abomination for us. We'll take it. He gets Giganto. We both got Big Dinosaur Green Man, and he freaking won that battle. Hot damn. All right, so here we go. Final round. We can go Doombots across the board, get 10 and 10. One option, bit safe to spread ourselves wide there, but I'd rather kind of go for this play. I kind of had a feeling he was going to go all in for these two options. We unfortunately don't get the double activation because Spider-Woman's going to go before Wong, but that doesn't really matter as we can easily beat out the other two options. And we had Storm, Wave, and Black Panther left in our deck. So even if you don't get the combo, I think this was a good way to show how it works all together. And that's the Unbeatable Panther without the Panther. All right, guys. Well, hopefully you enjoyed the video. It was definitely a fun one to make, and my only hope is that you took something away from it. If you do appreciate the graphics and did learn something, you can go ahead and support me by liking today's video. And if you find yourself coming back to this channel, hit that subscribe button, as that helps as well. On our way to 50,000 subs. Guys, until the next one, happy snapping.